Welcome to our second video for Year 10 Physics, where we're looking at speed. Our learning intentions for this unit or this section are listed here. As you work through this video, it's really important that you make yourself a formula sheet that you understand with key formula and terms upon it. So, our first learning intention was to make use of the following units of measurement: millimeters, centimeters, meters, and kilometers, and to be able to convert from one unit to another. So, important facts to remember. As we go from a big unit to a unit that's smaller, so for example kilometers to meters, we're also always multiplying. And the value we multiply by depends what we're moving from. So from kilometers back to meters, we multiply by 1,000. From meters to centimeters, we multiply by 100. From centimeters to millimeters, we multiply by 10. If we are going from small to big, we always divide. So if we've got meters and we want to get to kilometers, we divide by 1,000. Centimeters to meters, we divide by 100, and millimeters to centimeters, we would divide by 10. Learning intention 2. Make use of the following units for measuring time: seconds, minutes, and hours, and be able to convert from one unit to another. So, some things to remember. One day is 24 hours. 1 hour is 60 minutes. And 1 minute is 60 seconds. So it's really important to know how many seconds are in a minute, how many minutes are in an hour. It's really important that you know those to be able to convert between them. So if we're looking at converting our time, 1 minute, that's 60 seconds. So if you're converting from minutes to seconds, you would multiply by 60. If you're going from seconds to minutes, you would divide by 60. And the same again, hours to minutes and hours to seconds. Remembering, so there's 3,600 seconds in an hour, and that's 60 times 60. Because you've got 60 minutes, 60 seconds. All right. So if you want to transfer from hours to seconds, okay, you've got hours and you want to get to seconds, you multiply by 3,600. And if you want to move from seconds to hours, you divide by 3,600. Now, the reason I'm just putting hours and seconds on here is because quite often with our speed, we're looking at kilometers per hour or meters per second. So that's where you may have to make some of these conversions. Learning intention number 3. Convert a time expressed in hours, minutes, and seconds into a decimal number of hours and vice versa. Let's see how we would do this. All right, imagine we have got 5 hours, 4 minutes, and 30 seconds. How are we going to convert that to a decimal? All right, we know we have 5 hours, but what will the decimal be? We have 4 minutes and 30 seconds. First, these need to be converted to the same unit, and we're going to get them to minutes. So to convert seconds to minutes, we need to divide by 60. We said that just now. So 30 seconds, which we've got, divided by 60 will give us 0.5 minutes. So now what we need to do is add it to the minutes we've got. So we've got 4 minutes, and we're going to add our 0.5, which now gives us 4.5 minutes. Now we need to convert 4.5 minutes to hours. So again, we're going to divide by 60. So we've got 4.5 divided by 60. That gives us 0.075. Add this to our 5 hours and we get 5.075 hours. So we've converted 5 hours, 4 minutes and 30 seconds to our decimal. Another example, 2 hours, 32 minutes and 5 seconds. All right, we have 32 minutes and 5 seconds. These need to be converted to the same units, minutes. So 5 seconds divided by 60 gives us 0.08 minutes. We're going to add that to our 32 minutes. So we've now got 32.08 minutes. So then we need to convert our 32.08 to hours. So we're going to divide it by 60, which gives us 0.53 hours. Add that to our 2 hours. We now have 2.53 hours. All right, here we've got 24 hours, 12 minutes and 55 seconds. So we're going to go 55 divided by 60. So our 55 seconds, I'm just taking the written information out now and getting it more just the formulas. So 55 divided by 60 is 0.92 minutes. We're going to add that to the minutes we've got, 12. So we've got 12 plus 0.92 is 12.92 minutes. So that's our minutes and our seconds. We now need to change that to hours. So we're going to go 12.92 divided by 60 gives us 0.22 hours. And we're going to add that 0.22 to our 24, which gives us 24.22 hours. Learning intention number 4. Calculate average speed in kilometers per hour and meters per second using this equation. So speed equals distance divided by time. So we've got a car traveling at 50 kilometers so travels 50 kilometers in 25 minutes. How fast is it going? So we've got our calculation, our formula there. Speed equals distance divided by time. So first of all, we need to convert minutes to hours because we're looking at kilometers and it's always kilometers per hour. It's not kilometers per minute. Our universal unit is kilometers per hour if we're using kilometers. So we need to convert minutes to hours. So we did this just now. We're looking at that 25 minutes divided by 60 is 0.42 hours. Now we need to enter all that information into our formula. So we're looking for the speed. We know we've got a distance of 50 kilometers and our time is 0.42 hours. So we divide 50 by 0.42 and that gives us 119 kilometers per hour. That's our speed. All right, got another one. Got a car travels 25 kilometers in 15 minutes. How fast is it going? So we've got our formula there. So our speed equals 25 kilometers. And then what I've done is I've just put in brackets here, 15 divided by 60. So I've kind of missed a step and put it all in together. So we need to work that out in hours. So 15 divided by 60, we'll work that out in our hours. So speed equals 25 divided by 0.25. And then when we do 25 divided by 0.25, we get 100 kilometers per hour. Learning intention 5, convert kilometers per hour into meters per second and vice versa. So let's just have a think about it. If we've got 1 kilometer per hour, what we're looking at is 1 kilometer divided by 1 hour. Okay. If we then change that into meters per second, because we're trying to get meters per second, remember, there's 1,000 meters in a kilometer and there's 3,600 seconds in an hour. So we said that earlier in the video. So what if we then simplify that, we've got 1 meter divided by 3.6. Okay, and if we actually work that calculation out, that will give you your meters per second. Got another example here with 30 kilometers. We've done the same thing, transferred it to meters and seconds, and in this case done that division to give you 8.3 meters per second. All right, here's an example. An insect is moving at 0.05 kilometers per hour What is its speed in meters per second? So let's work this out. Got 0.04 kilometers per hour. So what does that mean? That means 0.5 divided by 1. So 0.5 divided by 1 hour. So then we've transferred that into meters and seconds. So we've got 50 meters per 3,600 seconds. All right, we can reduce that down, and then to 5 over 360. Okay, this is just reminding you that kilometers to meters, you multiply by 1,000, and hours to seconds, you multiply by 3,600. And once we do that calculation, the 5 divided by 360, we get 0.0138 meters per second. So our insect moves at 0.138 meters per second. I might need that double checked. Someone who's got a calculator with them, please. I think I may not have done an adjustment there. All right. A train is moving at 26 meters per second. What is its speed in kilometers per hour? So we've got 26 meters per second equals 26 over 1. We now transfer that into kilometers and hours. Okay, so that's 0.026 kilometers and 0.00027 hours. So remembering that to get meters to kilometers, you divide by 1,000, and to get seconds to hours, you always also divide by 3, but that's this case 3,600. So that gives us 2,600 divided by 27. We work that out, and our train is moving at 96.29 kilometers per hour. You might just want to double check my calculations there. You know I do make errors now and then. Now, if you want to avoid doing all of what I just showed you, it's important that you understand all the steps involved. But what you can do, if you've got kilometers per hour and you want to get to meters per second, you can divide by 3.6. And if you need to get from meters per second to kilometers per, oh, that should say hours. That should say hours there. Okay, so if you want to get, from meters per second to kilometers per hour, sorry about that error, you multiply by 3.6. Learning intention number 6, calculate the distance travelled or the time taken knowing the average speed using these different formulas. Okay, so this is where we need to be able to rearrange our speed calculation to find distance or time, and there's your calculations there, your formulas. Okay, I'm driving to Adelaide. My average speed is 95 kilometers per hour. The distance I need to cover is 731 kilometers. How long will it take me to get there? So we've got the calculation. We know I'm traveling at 95 kilometers per hour. We know I've got to cover, my distance is 731 kilometers, and we need to find time. Okay, so we need to rearrange this equation. We need to move time so it's on its own. Okay, so to remove time from this side, we need to multiply. Okay, multiply by time, that will get it, remove it from there. And what we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So we multiply by time, and we get time on its own there. Now, to remove the speed from that side, we're going to divide by 95, and what we do to one side, we then have to do to the other. So we're now dividing that side by 95. So time, we've then got our calculation here, which we can do. 731 divided by 95, by my calculations, gave us 7.69 hours to get to Adelaide. Next up, I'm off to the Gold Coast. It takes me 17.6 hours to get there, travelling at an average speed of 95 kilometres per hour. Alrighty, so we've got my average speed of 95 kilometres per hour again, but we're trying to find the distance this time. Okay, we've put in my time, how long it took me to get there. but we need to find that distance. Okay, so we're going to remove the distance from this side, and by removing distance, I'm not going to go into the maths behind this, but we add it to that side in this case, only where distance is the numerator. Okay, so now we need to get rid of the speed. So to get rid of speed, because we've got a division involved, we're going to multiply that out. And by multiplying it out, we're also multiplying it out on the other side. So the 95 goes on to the other side. We've now got distance equals, the distance to the Gold Coast equals 1,672 kilometres. This is if you're rearranging the equation, but remembering that back here you've been given each of the equations, so you can just use these. I've just shown you how to do it by rearranging the equations, because I know we had some questions around that in class. All right, thank you for watching this video. Take it easy and remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel.